Mental health challenges such as depression and stress are often overlooked, and yet they affect people from all walks of life. These challenges affect millions of people globally, including some from within here in Rwanda. We are privileged today to have a brave guest who is here to share her personal journey through treatment and support, and how she has been able to manage her situation. Her testimony is not just a story of recovery, but a message of hope for those suffering in silence. We will talk about the importance of seeking help, how medication and therapy can be life-changing, and what we can do to support each other in these challenges. Welcome. This is The Perspective. My guest today is Jane Uwimana.
Thank you, Sam.
Jane, thanks for making time to come by.
I was just laughing when you mentioned brave. I'm
Yes.
just myself. I don't see myself as a brave person.
You're very brave. You're very brave because this is a very contentious issue that people often overlook. And yet, like I said, it affects so many people globally. And it impacts on people from all walks of life.
I guess it's the lack of knowledge, because it's part of our life, definitely. If some numbers show that approximately 40% of the Rwandan population is affected by stress and depression, that's like almost a half of the population. So it's a normal thing.
So that's why you're brave, because you're here to tell us your personal journey and how you have managed to.
I can tell you my personal journey. I remember it was in 2007 when I first benefited from the psychological services, but I was not even aware that I was receiving those services. I went to clinic because my mother was very sick and I was the only child. I was taking care of her and she was refusing to take her medication. So I went to a clinic to talk to them to see how they can try to convince her to take the medication. And they told me that it's not necessary. And they promised me that they are going to take care of me instead of taking care of my mother. I was like, I'm not sick. Why are you going to take care of me? They told me that I'm passing through very challenging times. I didn't realize that. I remember the lady asked me just to be friends. I said, it's okay. Let me be friends. There's no problem. So she could call me and ask me some questions, how my mom was doing. She was there until my mother passed away in 2008.
Oh, sorry.
And but it's also part of life. Then I was really prepared for her death. I was strong, and after she passed away, I stayed alone. I was looking for the word I will use, but I often fail to find the word in English. Ichineje in my family, unique child of the family, and from my mother's side and my father's side. And my father died in genocide, so I stayed alone. If I say alone, like no uncle, the uncles are there, the family is there, but they were really far. We were not that close. So I had to get prepared to live in that way after the death of my mother. That's how I learned that the lady who became my friend, for her, she wanted to talk to me as a psychologist, but I didn't know what she was doing. Later on, when I started to inform myself, I was interested in health issues because I'm also a journalist. Actually, I specialized in health issues because of the sickness of my mother and my situation, the life I was going through. That's when I started to learn about psychology, how it works, what's the problem I had, and then I understood. So later on, in 2015, I had a very shocking breakup with the father of my daughter. That's when I said, now I was learning things of how I can help others. Now I know it's my turn to seek for help.
Before we go there, what are some of the signs that probably showed you that you needed this
help.
Attention? Yes.
Okay. In 2015, I said it was a shocking breakup because I could say that I relied on that person that time. I had no source of income. I was not working, and I was seeing that I'm becoming a single mother. So I could not think straight. I felt like I want to drink, but normally I don't drink. I felt like
to drink alcohol.
Yeah, to drink alcohol.
As a way of trying to
to cope. But
to cope with this
I didn't try it. I said, this is weird. This is not me. I feel like my brain is going to explode, and I have no other person to talk to. I think I should seek for help. The good thing is that I was in touch with some psychologists. I knew them. So I called one of them. I told them what I was going through, that I don't feel like I have energy to go back to work, because I had stopped work for like 2 years. So that time I was feeling like I don't want to go to work. I don't feel how can I say? I don't feel intelligent. I don't feel like I want to think about anything wise. So I was feeling really down.
So these are the things that motivated you to seek medical help?
Yeah, I said, and there's another thing, because I had a baby. So I thank God I didn't have those suicidal thoughts. I felt like I really have to keep on living, but I don't know how. I feel like I'm completely tired. I'm really burnt out. So that's how I started to seek for help.
For many people, seeking such medical help can extremely be overwhelming. How did you feel when you attempted and said, let me try to do this?
Actually, when people hear about mental health, they think of pills, sleeping pills, those things. In 2015, I took no medication. It was just words, talking, discussions. So the psychologist could ask me a question that could lead me to think and to find answers myself. I remember there was a funny word, but I think it may help many girls. After the breakup, the girl could say, you see, the very sad thing is that the man saw my nakedness, and I feel really like I lost something big. And then she asked me, she was like, he saw you? Was he not naked too? Didn't you see him? So I was like, I'm really stupid. How can these things make me sad? She asked me, didn't you enjoy? I was like, I enjoyed. So she was like, why are you regretting? And then, so they have those questions that can lead you to an answer, and you feel like, why was I even stressing? It's not the end of the world. And then you regain, you come back into life.
I want to make sure that my viewer there who is probably going through the same thing can pick up from this.
So those were the kind of questions they could ask me. And then I was like, now I don't know how I'm going to survive. It's been 2 years without work. And she was like, but you used to work. How much did you used to earn before you met him? I was like, a lot of money. I was strong. And she was like, where did your strength go? I was like, okay, I'm still strong. Why am I? So those are the kind of things they tell you, and then you feel like, wow, energized, and you go back on your feet. So I wrote it somewhere. 2007, I went through the depression, but I didn't even know. I was not aware, but I got the help of a psychologist without any medication. 2015, it was the same. 2021, it happened again because of COVID. I was so afraid of COVID. I was so afraid of the lockdown, like that way of putting people in isolation for 2 weeks. I could not think about that. I was like, I'm alone with my daughter. If I fall sick, what is going to happen? If they tell me to stay in my house and I don't earn anything, I stressed, and I had no COVID until I got depressed deeply. And then again, another psychologist, she was asking me, do you realize you have many friends? I was like, I don't see them. She told me to take my phone and to see the contacts I have. It's above 5,000 because they are on my Gmail. So I was like, there are so many. So she was like, among those contacts, you don't have even 2 people who can give you something to eat during those 2 weeks. I was like, I don't see any. So she was like, am I not your friend? So those, because depression has that thing of showing people that it's the end of their life. Everyone hates me and I failed. I'm a failure in everything. That's how it comes. And you see only the negative in life. You don't see any positive. If you have qualities, you forget about them. That's how people come to the solution of thinking that the suicide is a good thing, because they think, and no one comes to tell you that. It just comes in the mind that you the worst, you are a bad person. Actually, you need to kill yourself so that everyone has peace and you also have peace. But it's just
it's not the solution in the end. Yeah. Jen, let me ask you something. Mental health issues often come with a lot of stigma.
Yeah, I know.
How do you cope with this? And what advice would you give to my viewer out there?
Let me tell you. There's a proverb in Kinyarwanda which says, Ibibi birarutana. I know there's stigma in this society of ours, but the consequences of keeping quiet are very, very big. They are very high. So there's no reason to keep quiet. Because when you keep quiet, when you keep your things, I like to take examples on men. By the way, I make mental health sensitization shows to just to try to educate people.
Yes, I have seen some on your platforms.
Yeah, I have a YouTube platform. I put them. I like to tell, especially men, they think that they are supermen, that they can solve everything. So they know deeply that it's not possible, but they want to show that they can solve everything. So
they die within. Yeah, they don't want
to show. And when you don't want to show, it's like you tell everyone, bring me your problems, I'm going to solve them. Bring me your problems, I'm going to solve them. I remember I used to think that I'm not important in the society, until one day I started to listen to radios, and most of the girls who were starting the journalism, the news anchors, they were all trying to imitate me. I was like, okay, so there are a big number of people who look up to me that I don't even know. So that means I inspire those people. If I inspire those people, it's okay. It's a huge challenge. Sometimes you try to be perfect, and it's not possible. No one is perfect. So the thing that I'm going to do, what I decided to do, is to be myself. not try to impress anyone, just to live my life. I know, okay, be conscious that they look up to me, but not trying to impress them. So that opened up that possibility of talking about my problems, showing them that I'm not a superwoman as they may think, because they may think that, okay, Jane, we hear, we listen to her in the radio stations everywhere, so she's, I don't know. I don't even know if people think that superstars are human beings. So that thing of...
Because actually that's how I also got to know you, from radio. I used to listen to radio, and that's how I came to know you.
And we met.
Yeah.
But you saw that I'm a human being. I'm a normal person. I don't know. Just so the good thing is not to try to be to impress, just to be yourself. When you are yourself, it opens the opportunities to have people to talk to, and people understand you because you didn't try to impress. When someone asks you if you have a problem and you say I have no problem, and later you find out that you need their help, it's going to be tough to ask for their help.
You cannot approach them again.
Yeah,
and
you say you are okay. So if you're not okay, speak out. Say that you're not okay. Because no man is they say no man is an island. Yes, we need each other. Always.
I am so glad that you are leading this campaign of speaking out.
Yeah, we have to. You saw that recently. I made a show, like a YouTube
I
video.
Recorded video, yes.
I was in my bed. I was sick. I couldn't stand up. Even in my voice, I was shaking.
Yeah, the voice was not.
Yeah, the energy was low. I told them that I'm not feeling well, but I have to speak out. You have to know that I'm not feeling well. I'm passing through that. It happened.
But now, Jen, like I said, I'm happy you're leading the campaign to speak out. But how do you think family and friends can support in such a campaign?
Okay, that's also challenging because it depends totally on them, on their understanding of the thing. But as I said before, when you start by like the person who have that problem is the one to start, like to speak out, to approach them, not like totally depending on them, but remember that you may need them.
Because they are also important.
Yes, they are also important, but not forgetting that people can hurt you so much. They can be disappointing. You know, sometimes you can keep a huge secret that can lead you to depression. And then you need someone to talk to. You need to open up to talk about your secret. And when you tell someone, it's like making an announcement. They tell everyone. That can be very hurtful. You can feel really down and lead you to never trust people again. But if you
so
feel
you're
like...
saying that open up, tell them, but don't expect too much.
Yeah, don't expect too much because people speak. I like to tell people that if you think that your secret is too big, don't tell. Just write. You can make your... just write down your story as if you were telling to your best friend. And then if you want, you can burn the papers later. But when you
as
write
long as
them,
you have gotten it out.
You know how it works? Scientifically, I discovered that when people are in shock, when things are happening to you and you're in shock, it's hard to find words to talk about what happened to you. But now, when you are talking, when you open and talk, I used to live to have such experiences. I could be opening up and tell you my story, like what I went through. But at the same time, when I'm talking, I'm like, okay, why did I see it as a very big thing? When you are talking, the brain processes the words you are using. You find out that it's not really hard. It's normal. hey, okay, it's called like this. So if it's called like this, that means it happened another time. It's simple. So you get the brain processes and you get to understand that it's a normal thing that you went through. That's why you need to either write or talk. Because I also went through the times, writing is too much. Sometimes you feel like it's even slow. So I used to record myself. Take my phone, record my voice, say as if I'm talking to my best friend, and cry and feel like whatever I want to say. And then I take my time, I make myself busy. Later on, I listen. I'm like, why was I this angry? You see, later on, I could listen and feel like, okay, now I'm coming down. I get to understand the situation and getting out. So you can have the friends, you can talk to them, and it's helpful. So now the friends and the family, what they can do is just avoid to judge, because people judge too much. You like, someone tells you that they are suffering, and you start by saying, you don't know what I'm passing through. You think you're suffering. I'm suffering more. Hey, that's in Kinyarwanda, we say imiteto. Hey, well, you don't understand the problems of this life. When you judge like that, people don't understand problems at the same. They don't process the same at the same level, the same way. I may pass through the same thing, like lose a parent, for example, and another one lose a parent. Or let's say we are like twin sisters. We lose our parents. One sister can like fall into addiction of drugs because she failed to understand, to cope. Another one becomes stronger. Yeah, so people don't process the situations at the same time or the same way. So it's not good to judge. And then we learn to be good listeners. That's how we can help. If someone tells you that they are sad and they want to talk to you, please listen to them. And if they tell you that it's a secret, please learn to keep the secret, because it may hurt a lot.
I have a friend who used to, who they would tell a secret, but before they tell them the secret, for example, I come and tell you, I want to tell you something, but please
don't say
it's a secret. Then this guy will say, if it's a secret and you have failed to keep it yourself, how sure are you that I will keep it for you?
Okay, I understand. Actually, that's how it works, because people tell other people's secrets thinking that their friends are going to keep the secrets. So it's no longer a secret. So it's from both sides. You can try to keep the secret because you know the importance of breaking it. You break the trust of your friend, and you never know, you might be the only friend they have, and if they lose that friend, it may be worse. So keeping a secret can save lives.
Yeah, Jen, you're here telling us your story because you want to inspire other people to get out of this bondage of not seeking treatment, especially for mental health. In Rwanda, we have this problem, like you mentioned. It manifests once in a while.
Yeah.
What steps do you think as society or as the public we can take to try and find a solution to this problem?
For me, the first thing I think is trying to speak out. The communication for changing the behavior of people. And that, I think, the big responsibility goes to RBC.
Rwanda Biomedical Center.
Yes. They have to educate the population. Because once we get to understand, people can even help themselves, but they don't know how to. It's very easy.
So we should look for RBC, I think, one of these days to
okay,
come.
I'm thinking about RBC because I know that they are the ones in charge.
Yes.
But there are many institutions that can help. even individuals like me, if I know that I can do that, that's why I started.
You need to
I
be
don't have
empowered
any.
at least.
Yeah.
I think you need to be empowered
You know,
more
I've
that you can pass on this message.
Yes, I've been producing the shows for like 2 years now. I've no sponsorship. It's really sad. Sometimes I feel like
And
I have
yet
no
this is
means
something that really affects the society.
Yeah, a lot.
What has been the most valuable lesson you have learned from your mental health journey? And how has it changed your perspective to life?
You know, I used to panic, feel like I have to solve every challenge that I meet, to solve every problem that I encounter. Like if I had to pay the rent is due, my boss is not paying me. It has to happen. My boss has to pay me because I have no money to pay for the rent. But then I could reach the times when the boss cannot pay me.
Because he also maybe doesn't have the money.
Yeah. So if he doesn't and I don't pay the rent, what's going to happen? Am I going to die? I'm not.
Maybe the landlord will kick you out. But if you explain to them,
I go and explain to them. So I learned not to consider myself as a superwoman. There are problems I can solve. There are others I cannot solve. And life is made of ups and downs. So sometimes it works, some other times it doesn't. So if it doesn't, I don't panic. I just I learned to relax in the middle of huge problems. I can give you an example. Last year, I went through a big problem with the bank. I had a loan and it was overdue. First month, second month, third month, I had no income, no source of income. I could not make any promise that I'm going to pay any soon. I was like, how? I stressed, I depressed, and then I passed through all of those things and I found no solution. So the only solution that I had is to relax and take it easy. It passes. Everything comes and goes. Passes.
Wow.
So I was like, I could think, see a problem, think a bit to see if I can solve it. If I cannot, I relax. Because if I stress out, I'm not going to find the solution. I remember I used even to tell my banker, I think he was amazed by the way I could answer him. I was like, you are stressing me to pay you. Do you think that I have the money and I refuse to pay? So he was like, maybe, we never know. I was like, tell me the probabilities, you see. I have no source of income, I told you. I'm not yet paid. So what do you want from me? Because he could be very angry. I was like, try to find a way to pay. I was like, I have no way. What do you want me to do? So he could be like, just put your much effort. I was like, I had put all the efforts. So what do you want to do next? What do you want me to do next? And I was like, now, please, when you call me like that, I even lose inspiration because I was getting inspired of looking for money from somewhere. And now you are making me stressing out. I forget about everything. Now I'm going to go in my room and cry. And it's going to take me like 3 days to recover. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to give you your peace. I will never call you again and you will pay. And it happened like that.
Wow.
I could pay in peace. So I applied the same in other areas of life. I was like, if it doesn't happen, am I going to die? No, I'm not going to die. Maybe I'm going to suffer a bit, but I can pass through. It can pass. So I relax.
Wow. Jen, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because by coming here, clearly it shows that you actually doing well, because it's no longer as it was before.
And I'm still taking medication because I could feel like my energy is very low. So there's some medication they gave me, some like nutrients. I don't know.
For me, the good thing is that you're actually this brave to come out and tell us your story, so that you help someone out there, because there are many. There are many. And like you said, if we take it on our personal responsibility and we make a collective effort to combat this. Of course, I know with the government of Rwanda as well, I know they are doing a lot. They have their establishments in place. There are doctors here. We have different hospitals. We have psychiatrists. Put us on board also. So that tell people like you are actually supposed to come on board and explain to these things.
Yeah, we have to tell people to go to seek for help and to look for those doctors. We are the ones to tell them.
The good thing is that you and I are journalists, so we can always use our platforms.
To tell them.
To discuss such important issues.
But also something that I forgot that's really useful to people. Sometimes people ask me, when do I really need to go to seek for help?
What is the time that you discover you really have to?
Yeah, sometimes you feel like you're really down, you feel sad and it doesn't go. You take 2, 3, 4 days, it doesn't go. It's not normal. Normally when something happens and it makes you sad, it's normal, but it's supposed to last for some hours, not for days. Yeah, when you feel like you can't sleep for 1, 2, 3 days, or you sleep too much, because like for my case, it's the opposite. I sleep too much. You see like you have slept for 8 hours, you wake up, but you still feel down. That's not normal. You need to look for help. And you feel like you want to abuse the drinking too much,
drug abuse and getting into
you feel like you want to depend on some substance,
alcoholism,
to cope.
That kind of things.
Know that you need help, not alcohol. And then when you feel like you hate yourself and you want to kill yourself,
of course, that is the maximum.
It's the sickness. It's not, because some people say, me, I'm brave, I cannot take the decision to kill myself, but people don't know how it comes. It just comes, you don't know how it comes. But when you feel like you have those ideas, those thoughts, you feel like you hate yourself, please go and look for help. Go to the, health center or the hospital, the nearest. Tell them that you have those thoughts. They will know what to do.
Wow. Dear viewer, let's not keep these dangerous thoughts to ourselves, because we could get to the extreme and we actually commit suicide. Yeah, because there are reports that people commit suicide and we wonder what the problem is. Yeah. Jen, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you too.
I really appreciate your contribution to this program.
Thank you.
I like the fact that you're inspired to help other people beyond yourself. And the fact that you have gone through this for such a long time, but you can still come out and talk about it.
Yeah,
is your resilience and your courage to help the public.
I had to. Life is like a piano, so it's ups, downs, ups, downs. Sometimes the downs are very deep that you feel depressed, but you know that it will go up again.
Wow. My viewer who is out there, if you like what we've talked about, or if you have a challenge in this regard, kindly don't hesitate to look out for a medical personnel. You can begin with your friend, you can begin with your neighbor, you can begin with your colleague at work. But if you have this kind of thinking, it may not easily manifest as depression. It may not easily manifest as stress, but it's a mental health challenge. Please don't stay home. Don't keep it to yourself, because it is important that we treat this. And I know you will get well if you need that help. Thank you so much for being with us. Next time, definitely we'll look out for another guest. We'll talk about another important topic. From us as the perspective, it's goodbye.